Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we're all practicing and learning together how to peace out, right? It is an ongoing process and we make ongoing progress, I hope. It's getting easier to push the peace button rather than the panic button, right? Isn't that what it's about? Learning how to not panic when things change and figure out how to take it to God in prayer and go, okay, this just happened and I don't know what to do. God is so awesome because he meets us right there every single time. Okay, before we get into today's devotion, though, here's a quick update on Pakistan. Our brother Marcus is receiving 500 copies of the study of James today. I'll send pictures and do an update on Facebook here later. And our next part of the project will be he's already translated 31 Days in Psalm 31, which is the book of the week this week, and 21 days. Those will be our next printers. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit down and look at some numbers. I don't even know where we are right this second. But I was trying to gather it all together this morning, and I was like, I don't know. This is blowing my mind. So knowing what God's doing with that, it's amazing. So there's 500 copies of the study of James, the James Bible Study Guide, soon to be distributed to Christians in Pakistan. That's amazing. That's just amazing. And then we'll get on this next project. Don't forget, though, get a copy of Psalm 31, 31 Days in Psalm 31. It's written when David was in the cave, basically running from Saul, and it builds that connection with God. It just gives you some questions to ask yourself every day. And how can I trust God more? Kind of like we do right here. How can I just peace out more? How can I trust God more, no matter what's going on in my life, right? And so I was reading this morning. And I was actually reading John chapter 9. I love John chapter 9. Now, I'm not going to talk about John chapter 9 much, but John chapter 9 is the healing of the blind guy. And it just drove the Pharisees and the religious fanatics of the day crazy because they couldn't figure out what Jesus had done. Did he have a demon, or was he from God? Was this guy really healed? And how dare him heal the blind guy, right? And I love John chapter 9. It's got a little bit of everything. As a matter of fact, I'm going to probably sit down later today and just break it all down there's so many really interesting things and some sad things, because when God does something we don't expect, it seems like it's hard for us to understand it. Because it doesn't fit in our little religious ideology, right? And we need him to fit in this box we've built for him. And if he does something outside that box, like give us unexplainable peace, we're all confused, right? Or when he heals, does God heal? Well, he did. So does that mean he still does it? And it doesn't fit in our box sometimes, and peace doesn't sometimes fit in our box either, because we're like, shouldn't we be stressed? We're going to have stress come against us. We live in America and around the world. No matter where we live, anywhere on the world, we've got family things going on. We've got financial things going on. We've got relational things going on. We've got, fill in your list of things going on, right? We're all dealing with stuff. And technology, I love technology. I love where we're at with it mostly, right? There's just some great things that we can do with technology. We can connect around the world. I send my books to Pakistan, and the guy translates them and prints them out over there. I mean, there's some amazing things, and then sends me pictures of them back. And it's just amazing how connected we can be through technology. I've been able to minister in Pakistan and India and I don't know, several different places, right, through the technology. It's amazing. But at the same time, we're on overwhelm all the time, right? And so that's why we've got to learn to peace out. And so, we started the peace out, of course, during the pandemic, because I was like, okay, God's peace didn't change because somebody used the word pandemic. God's word didn't change, and his peace didn't drain out because we were stressed and getting misinformation and real information and crazy information, and we were being inundated with stuff. And I was like, okay, we got to have something to go back to every day. That's the good thing about the word. That's why I encourage everyone to read it, to study it, to meditate on it, to memorize it, because it's our weapon. It's the sword of the Spirit in Ephesians 6, but it's our weapon. And when things happen, we have that to grab a hold of. God's word doesn't change because the world went crazy. God's word doesn't change because something in our life got broken. He remains faithful no matter what. And that is amazing to me. He doesn't wait for the storm to stop before he walks out on the water. He comes and gets us. I love that. And that's what I want to talk about real quick today, because I read on after John 9, I read on in John 10. And two times in John chapter 10, verse 11 and 14, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. We talked about David not long ago, where David said, he said, snatch me like a shepherd snatches a lamb from the lion, because he had done it. He could relate to that. And that was his picture of God, right? That here I am right in the middle of a hard situation, a sticky situation, a difficult circumstances I'm trying to work through. And I know I'm a shepherd. I grab my sheep, and God's my shepherd. He's going to grab me, right? And so here Jesus is saying, I'm the good shepherd. It says the good shepherd lays his life down for a sheep. And he goes on to say, you might want to read these, at least the red parts of John chapter 10, right? But he goes on to say, when a wolf comes, the good shepherd protects his sheep. A hireling isn't invested in the peace and comfort and safety of the sheep. The hireling says, a wolf, bye, and the sheep are scattered and destroyed. A hireling says, a lion, bye. But a shepherd, it says, a good shepherd, says, I know my own sheep and they know me. And he's like, I'm going to stick with my sheep. And that's what I love about God. God never says, ooh, something's bad going on. Okay, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Let me know how that turns out. Right? And he doesn't abandon because our lives get so complex. He doesn't abandon because our situations get complicated. He doesn't run away when something bad happens. He is always here because he is our good shepherd. He doesn't say, well, you got a health crisis? Ooh, call me on Monday. Let me know how that turned out. He is with us. He is the good shepherd. And I think it's interesting here that he said it two times. It was like he was wanting to solidify it in the minds of his disciples and those listening, right? He was explaining what he had said about a shepherd and about the flock, and he goes on to even give some prophetic things in here, and I'll try not to get carried off in that, but he goes on to say there's going to be one flock, meaning there's not going to be Jew and Gentile, male and female, this and that. It'll be one flock. He's the great unifier. He's the great peacemaker. He's a great peace provider, right? And it's even. He does it for all of us. No matter what, he doesn't go, oh, did you read Psalm 23 yet today? Because I'm not going to give you peace till you read it. No, he's just there. He's say, okay, are you from Israel? Or are you from not from Israel? Are you from America? Are you from there? Are you from here? I don't know. No, he just says there's one flock and there's one shepherd, and I'm the shepherd, and I'm going to take care of my sheep by giving them peace, by giving them wisdom, by walking with them through the storms of life, by calming the storms of life, by just being present. He is just present with us no matter what. I love that about God. He is the very present shepherd. He is the engaged shepherd, because he doesn't just sit back and cross his arms and go, let's see how this turns out. He goes, let me help you. Here's some peace. It's up to us to apply the peace. Even when we ask him for wisdom, which he says he gives us in Proverbs and James, both Old Testament and New Testament, he gives us peace or wisdom when we ask. And so when we ask, he gives us wisdom. It's still up to us to apply it. Same thing with his peace. We have his peace. We have his grace. We have his mercy. The big catch is us trying to figure out how that is applicable in our lives. How do I keep going back to his peace and letting it reign? How do I take wisdom from God, take wisdom from his word, and walk that out? And nobody can do that for you. You can't do it for me either. All we can do is encourage one another to keep going back to the shepherd of our souls. Keep going back to the shepherd of our hearts. Keep going back to the shepherd, the one shepherd of the one flock, and keep trusting him. And that's what I'm going to do for one more day. I'm going to trust him today, and I'm going to peace out because he's with me no matter what. Have a great day. Peace out. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.